bloody hell.
Yeah, right. You go crazy, eh, Mark? I would.
You learn to do decent cars.
Mind you, when I came out of the forces, obviously I had to get a job. And I just went in the job centre, and first job I saw on the board, I picked the card up, and I didn't even really care what it was. And it was in a butcher shop. And I ended up being a butcher for 7 years. But I did a 3-year apprenticeship with the company. So I actually served a proper apprenticeship to be a master butcher, you know?
Yeah.
The first year, I didn't even touch a knife except to wash them up. So what's on the lathe tonight then?
There's Ash.
Yeah, good day, Herb. How are you?
Hi, Herb.
How you going, Herb?
Jay's been a chicken and peeling the bark off. I just turn the lathe on and let it go.
Yeah, that's it. It comes off.
You know what? The last time I left the bark on there, you're like, oh, why didn't you chisel the bark off first?
I must admit
chiseling the bark off, and now you're going, what are you chiseling the bark off for?
No, it's a sensible thing to do, actually, Jay. I've broken a few fluoro lights because of the bark.
It's going to fly off in little tiny chips, this bark.
To answer your question, Mark, you think of turning a boat type bowl?
Okay, yeah. Hello, Amy. How are you, darling?
Hello, Amy.
G'day, Amy. That's how far the lag is behind YouTube and StreamYard.
I've got the YouTube chat popped up next to StreamYard. Where's Wally? Oh, there he is.
Oh, did you see that? Oh. I was kind of hoping it was hiding.
You ready for bed?
Do you want to know what the T-shirt says? The T-shirt says, "A good man is hard to find."
Ah.
And then it's got Wally on there.
At times, my wife would probably agree with that.
Yeah, my ex probably says that.
Oh, my ex-wife would say there's no such thing.
Right.
I think what my ex-wife actually says is, "Why aren't you dead yet?" Not sure.
Yeah. G'day, Steve. How are you?
Hi, Steve.
How you going, Steve?
Oh, Robbo, you'd be proud of me.
Oh, what have you done?
I reprofiled one of my gouges today.
Oh, okay.
I reprofiled my half-inch into a bottom feeder.
Oh, yeah. You mean you took it back to a traditional English grind.
Yeah, but with a 60-degree bevel.
Sorry, what was that?
With a 60-degree bevel.
Yeah.
Just to the bottom of those.
Yep. Turn your tool rest around, Joe. And make sure you follow right through out to fresh air. See how on the bottom bit you've still got a bit of a flat section touched that you haven't touched yet?
Yeah.
If you grab that with the chisel as you go through, it'll just grab. And I take it, Mark, that you reprofiled it on the Pro Edge, did you?
Oh no, see, that's what I was going to say. I used a grinding wheel to reprofile it, but I did sharpen it on the Sorby.
Oh, good God.
I didn't want to waste the belt by reprofiling it, so I did it on my wheel.
Yeah, as I said before, it doesn't matter what you use as long as they're sharp. That's all that matters. Steve, Mike must be in, is he? Or he hasn't come up there yet.
Mike, yeah.
How you going, Mike?
Damn straight, Steve.
Good afternoon, Mike. Good evening. Good morning. Whatever it happens to be over where you are. Well, Amy, they're slowly lifting all the restrictions anyway.
Dr. Bob's backstage.
No, he's not. There he
How
is.
you going, Dr. Bob?
Hi, Dr.
Yep,
Bob.
hi there.
Go,
I've
Bob.
been hiding there for a while.
Hiding.
We thought we'd leave you in Coventry for a while.
Penalty.
Yeah,
Penalty.
being
What
late.
penalty?
Yeah.
No, I saw the notice pop up and I was in the midst of, oddly enough, cleaning the microwave, and I hate to stop something because I'll forget to go back to it.
Jesus. You want to be careful. You clean the stove, the microwave. What's next? The refrigerator.
Jay, Amy's asking if she can pop in.
Yeah, sure. I'm about 800 k's away though, Amy.
I can beat that.
Can ya? It's hard to pop in though.
Yeah.
Mark's a magic man.
Uh-oh.
I'm everywhere.
Get out. That's it. Get out. He's a magic man. Houdini. Climbs through the
They
wires.
seek him.
Houses.
They seek him here. They seek him there.
Yeah. Someone let me know when she's in the background because I'm in full screen at the moment. Can't see the chart or anything.
Yeah, Robo, you've got a over bass voice tonight.
Sorry, what's that?
It's like you're too close to a microphone.
No, I've got a different headset on.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah, Brendan, the kid that I've been raising since he was born. He just got a software package that goes between the headphone and the computer. It won't work on tablets, but on the computer. And it'll change his voice. So he can become a high squeaky girl or a macho man or a dozen or so celebrities, but you got to pay for the celebrity ones.
Yeah. Just check whether Amber's there, whether Amy's there. Jay, I can't see in here.
Yeah. No. She won't be too far off. She's seen the link. So.
So, how's your day been doing, Mark?
Yeah, not too bad. A few hours in the workshop.
And how many people have you worked on their websites, on their broadcasts?
None today. I did a small hole. Loaded out my dust extractor. Reprofiled a gouge. Loaded the cameras out. Ready for Monday. Got it, really.
Yeah, we all found Waldo. It's on Jay's chest. Such a magnificent looking manhood he is too.
Oh yeah, one of the kids got a shirt like that years ago. It was like Brendan grew out of it. But you can't find another one big enough. But he's at the age where big enough changes monthly. 13.
Well, from 15, at 15 I was 4'6" tall. By 16 I'd grown to 5'3".
Yeah, growth spurts happen.
And it caused terrible problems actually.
Muscle control.
yeah, my muscles didn't keep up to a large extent.
Well, the
I was
brain
stretched.
doesn't know how to, if you grow that quick, the brain, in order to write a letter with a piece of a pencil, the brain knows how to do it because you can close your eyes and do it. If you know how to skip rope, you can skip rope because the brain knows how to synchronize the sound of it and the timing and know where it's at. But if all of a sudden your legs are longer, then it's screwed up because
Takes a while
people
to
grow
catch
out
up.
of proportion. Yeah, that's why it takes time for the brain to reset itself, in essence, recalibrate. But try to explain that to a 13-year-old, especially his mother. I bought you 2 pair of shoes since Christmas, and now you've outgrown the second pair.
Yeah.
Yes.
And no, I used to go to bed, and some when I got up in the morning, I quite often couldn't fit into a bloody shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, I could, but it looked like a bikini top, you know.
Yeah. That's an odd part of life. Expensive for parents.
Yeah,
And you can't save the clothes for boys or girls. It used to be boys didn't care, but they do now because that shirt is out or that style of pants is out. He's in the stage of having all black now. That'll
that
change.
that didn't work in our house. I was the eldest of 2 brothers. Later on, 4 brothers, but they got all my hand-me-downs. They thought it was pretty good because I got new clothes every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's a piece of ash, Mike.
I think it's just pine, Mike.
Oh, I thought Jay said it was ash.
No, I don't think so. What sort of wood is it, Jay?
What?
What sort of wood is it?
Desert ash.
Oh, I stand
Desert
corrected.
ash.
Is Amy there yet or not?
What?
Is Amy in there yet or not?
What did you say?
No idea. I think it's on top.
You're crackling like crazy. Oh, you're going to have to talk a little bit quieter because I can't understand it.
Okay, righty. Wait on. I'll change the speaker. I'll change them over again.
When you yell that little bit, when you raise your voice, it crackles. But when you talk normally, I can't hear it.
Yeah, it does break up a bit, Robert.
All right. Yeah, it hasn't got. It annoys me because it hasn't got the mouthpiece that comes around. It's actually inside the headset.
Yeah, can't you get it like a straw or something and stuff it in there and have it come around so it echoes back to that?
You should be able to turn the volume of your mic down.
No, I can't. I can turn it. I can adjust the speaker levels, but I can't adjust the mic levels.
Well, just get 2 paper cups and a string.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll stretch it
Jay will
out.
walk the string to your house tonight.
Yeah.
Jiggle, jiggle. This is another tree that's classed as a weed in South Australia.
What about?
Mike says it would be nice to do a world tour. Try using regional woods. Yeah, wouldn't it just?
Yeah, it's good fun.
Why it's a weed because it grows fast, or it
I
just
think so.
has a lot of seeds and they all grow.
I think because it propagates so quickly.
But how big does it get? Is it big enough to actually use as a building product? Cut it?
I'm not really sure.
Get you with your big words. Propagate.
Oh, maybe like that.
Yeah, Mark, it's always been a problem I'm hopefully getting over or have. The fact that as a college professor and running a research lab, everyone's calling you professor or doctor, and they expect $10 words. And you try to use all the technical words because that's what they have to learn and communicate in. But when you get into the real world, working for business, I felt I intimidated too many people, and then I figured out the hard way. I didn't get the pay that I thought I was going to get because I didn't use high technical words, and management, they didn't do it for the contract. Then I learned after that, if you're going to be a professor, then be a professor and use the $10 words, because then they pay you the $100 hours. And once you do it, it's a hard habit to break.
Yeah, it's like me when if I just sign my name normally, I just sign it Mark Beckett. If I'm writing an official letter and I'm trying to put somebody in their place, I sign it Mark Beckett, BA, BSc, ADI, dip-ons. Because I've got 2 degrees, got a Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, and an honours diploma in driving instruction.
Does that mean you can drive people crazy?
Yeah, I've done that.
You got the degree so you can legally drive them crazy.
No, I got the degrees. I got the degrees because I was going to be a teacher. I started training to be a secondary school teacher. Got a degree in English literature and a degree in geography. There she is.
Hello,
How you going,
everyone.
Amy?
Hi there.
Sorry, my aunt rang just as I was getting ready to push the button.
Hi, Amy.
I'm Griffin.
Trilly. Awesome.
And that is the most interesting marketing aspect that I have ever seen, where a few just, no insult meant, ordinary people who get together for a hobby can create products that you can see and people buy or duplicate or steal around the world in order to have.
Yeah.
It usually is a multi-billion-dollar company that tries to spread something, but here it's common people, and it amazes me. It's just a clique that the people are part of, and they have the same type of sense of humor.
Drilly socks.
Yes.
Yeah, drilly socks.
Bow ties.
Face masks. Hoodies.
Special gloves.
You know, we need to chip in and get Jay a StreamYard upgrade. That way Robo wouldn't have a duck coming out of his shoulders. We pay to get rid of the duck.
I can finally go visit Robbo. Doodah, doodah.
Robbo says, oh, good.
Dang.
Robbo's leaving the state next week, so you better be quick. He's got a wedding to go to in New South Wales, so.
Is there an old South Wales?
I knew it was that funny. They put some of that funny.
She doesn't. It's a lovely day here today. Minimal wind, clear blue skies.
We were here too in Michigan.
Nice.
Northern Michigan, up in the Upper Peninsula, they were getting light snow.
Pitch black, Mark.
Yeah. It's 10 to 3 years, so
You're a crazy man.
what else was I going to do?
Sleep, rest, recuperate.
Yeah, can't remember what sleep is. Hi, John.
How you going, John?
Mum's duty called.
Who's that?
That's Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell.
Testing 1, 2.
3,
Yeah.
4.
A lot
Right,
better.
good. You can finally hear me.
Oh, you'll love it, John. Yorkshire grit. Awesome stuff.
Oh, I can attest to that. I got 2 cans.
getting a nice shape on it there, Jay.
Oi. Keep your foot still.
Yes, it's rather good, isn't it, Amy? All the travel restrictions are listed at the moment. Still can't get into Queensland, of course, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, well, they can be snooty up there, can't they? But no, I can't wait to see my aunties and my cousin and my mum, of course. But yeah, it's been hard. It's been hard.
I actually got stopped by the police yesterday. So I was driving into town.
Wow.
Asked me where I was going.
Yeah.
Why I was out.
Well, we had checkpoints all around when it was the 5 kilometre zones and then the 25 kilometre zones, but
I was told them I was going to the pharmacy to pick up my prescription.
yeah.
They didn't believe me. They followed me all the way.
No, for flip's sake, really?
They got to have something to do.
Exactly.
True.
I actually said to the guy, I said, I can go back home if you go pick it up for me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I said, considering I'm high risk, I'm not all that happy about having to go get it.
Oh, well, exactly.
They won't
Exactly. Have
mail
you
it
got
to
a
you?
mask and everything?
Sorry, what was that? Two questions.
Oh, sorry. Go, Dr. Bob.
Oh, I was going to say they won't mail it to you at high risk.
No,
No,
because
no.
it's one of the ones I have. One of the two of the medications I have are controlled drugs.
So you send it registered mail.
No, they're not allowed to send it through the post.
Oh, okay.
If anybody else got hold of it, it would be lethal to them.
That's right. Even the home delivery system, like from the pharmacy itself, we used to do home deliveries for, the aged care residents and everything like that. And we used to have to be like the government had to sign off that yes, we were allowed to do home deliveries, like with the Webster packs and things like that, where it's all packed for them in a morning, lunch, afternoon, night pack. Yeah, we had to have like special permission.
Yeah, it's getting bad here again. It's actually worse than it was the first time around in Michigan. Yesterday we had 6,000 new cases in the state.
Holy moly.
We were bitching when we had 35 a day.
Yeah.
Well, that was back August or July 22nd. The state has an app that lets us track what it is and what cities. And now it even goes and it shows you what schools.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
I can look at any school that has anybody in it, that's open.
Yeah.
That isn't locked down for distance learning. Yesterday, the schools in Wayne County had 354 new cases.
What?
The governor wants to shut it down, but can't because our Supreme Court said that the way our Constitution's written, it has to be amended because the governor can only do one emergency a year.
Okay, just wait a second. Right, Jay, before you start refining the outside there, put your tenon on, because that changes the whole shape of the outside, because you're taking 2 inches off the bottom of it. Yeah, put your tenon in there. And then start forming your outside shape, because suddenly it all changes.
Whoa, I have a lot of money. You can do it, John. Have faith in yourself.
Yep.
You can do it. Slowly but surely.
Yeah, don't take it right down to the tailstock, Jay. Just start forming your tenon. Come 2 inches out from the tailstock.
Just bark there.
Oh.
I'm just getting rid of the bark.
Okay, all right.
Just get rid of the bark.
Okay, all right. Get rid of the bark first, Jay.
Good idea. Woof, woof, woof. Get rid of the bark.
See, what he should have done, Jay, was chip all that bark off at the
Well,
start.
no, he got
I'm joking. I'm joking.
he got as much of it off it as he could. I forgot you were in on the earlier part of the conversation, Mark. Yeah.
He's going to chuck me out in a minute.
If he doesn't, I might.
Oh, wrong way.
Now, I've had a few people who have stuck their head in and listened to what goes on here at night and get back. And the comment I keep getting, at least from a few from AWDG group, is, well, you're not teaching wood turning. Someone's not turning something in that they're teaching it. And I said, well, yes, that's what I keep telling people. It's the other way around. We have a teacher who is teaching someone, but there's a whole group of us kibitzing and enjoying turning and enjoying talking to each other. And they thought that was very unique. They had never heard of that, just have a social group that is based around wood turning.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen one of my lives then.
All right, how much have you got there, Jay? Just turn it around to that flat spot, will you, please? Yeah, righty. Get it down to size.
God, that's a nice pair of calipers. They look awesome.
You want to see some of mine, Mark? They're a foot across.
Cool. I was quite happy with my bowl today. I got it down to 3/8
Very good.
from the edge all the way down, consistent right the way down to the bottom.
Sorry, what was
Bravo.
that? What did you say?
I said I was quite happy with my bowl. I got it down 3/8 thickness from the
Nice.
top all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah. What kind of wood is it?
Chestnut.
Ooh.
Nice. Very nice.
It's on my Facebook.
Yeah, chestnut turns beautifully.
Yeah. And I've done an oil finish on it, Danish oil.
Your hand is right there to get stabbed.
Is it?
Well, you
Yeah.
moved it, but it wasn't.
And pounding that chisel into the tailstock's not going to do any good.
What's wrong with that? What am I doing wrong
Well, it
again?
tends to take the edge off it, Jay.
Shh, don't tell
Hey.
anyone.
Jay,
This is even poor
Yeah.
carving.
Jay, just
What?
look at the screen for a minute, will you?
Hi,
That was a-
Hodgepodge.
That was a head slap.
How about this? Well, I can just get you with my finger.
You can't turn it down.
Good day, Hodge. How are you? How you going? Didn't see you sneak in. Sorry.
How you going? How you going, Roberto?
Right now, just flatten that tenon out so that it's going to fit properly, and I think that'll be all right. But when you put it in the chuck,
Yeah.
make sure that blank spot there
Yep.
is in the gap of two jaws. All right.
Yeah, no worries.
Right.
Hodge, have you got Harry with you?
No, I'd have left that alone there, Jay. Now you've got to cut that out of the way.
That's a bloody flat spot. You tell me to cut it and then don't cut it. What do you want? I
No.
can't go down any lower because it's going to take the whole tenon out, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you weren't listening to what I was saying. Flatten off where you had the tenon. Flatten it so that it fits into the chuck properly. There,
Yeah.
right, without taking anything off the thing.
Too late.
Now you've got to cut a little nubby bit off the back to fit it into the chuck.
Oh, she's right, mate. It's all good.
I like the technical Australian terms. Nubby bit.
Nubby bit. Yeah.
The nubby
Nappity
bit.
nub.
We
Well,
know
it's only because Amy's in here. Otherwise, I'd say no. You're leaving a tit on it.
Mm.
Well, that word alone tells if you were in the continental United States would place you very easily. Just how it's pronounced. Some have the long E and the short E.
Yeah. Good day, Lewis. How are you?
How you going, Lewis?
Right then, Lewis. How are you, buddy? Long time no speak. Oh, it must be at least an hour since we spoke. Oh, hang on, Hodgepodge. 2 seconds.
Stop. Quick, go, run.
Not another drilly.
Better?
There you go.
This is the Jelly Belly version.
Jeez, what grit's that?
It's my grit.
Looks like about
a bit of 80.
That's quick.
looks like about 36.
Oh, what was that? You want to go on mute?
One.
And that's only because you couldn't get a rock on the end of it.
Bravo.
Listen,
Sitting is in the chat.
pot kettle. Hey,
It is.
Sid,
who's he calling rough?
Oh, no, I can't let it be. Sorry.
I'm quite smooth, thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, with my vision, I can't see the trim right. They don't make glasses, or I can't afford the glasses that'll let me focus this close. And barbers aren't open yet, so I'm stuck.
You have to let Sid in, Jay.
Oh, I just went to have a look and he wasn't there, so...
No, he's just put in coming in.
Oh.
I'm only growing a beard so I don't feel left
Another
out.
message when he's in there. I'm not waiting for him to come in. Don't say I'm busy.
This is getting to be a motley mob.
What was that?
You can go off, people.
Wow. It's called internet. You just turn it off and walk away.
Hey, Sid!
G'day, Sid.
Hey, Sid.
How you going?
I'm going.
Down
How's
there
it?
at the bottom.
See, I can blame the duck for giving cheek.
Quack, quack.
That's better. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yep.
Yep.
That's better. The headset didn't connect. Hey, Mark, that's not a beard. This is a beard.
Yeah. I used to outbeard all of you. Then they cut it off.
Bastards.
yeah, well, you know, you would go and get sick, eh?
Yeah. I said to them, couldn't they just put it in underneath the
Right now
beard?
I'm going in.
No, wrong colour, Amy.
Ah,
No, so we're all grey, so you got to have a grey beard.
Oh no, I've gone grey.
No.
At least I didn't have all this stupid coloured stuff at the start of lockdown.
No, it's only because you've been associating with us that you got that.
Ah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense.
Could be true. Could be true.
Robbo,
Yeah.
can I just use the scraper, the negative scraper, to get this crap out here?
Yeah, just be very careful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hodgie. Yes, it's my Drilly. I'm repping my Drilly fan club.
I've been rude. I better go and check the chat and see who's there, eh?
Yeah, Hodgie and Lewis and Herb if he's still there, and Mike if he's still there.
Steve, Lewis.
Steve Combs.
Me. That's right.
Just the crew in the chat's nearly as dodgy as the crew in the live.
I was thinking that.
They can hear me, can't they?
Yeah.
I was thinking that after some of the insults coming from the peanut gallery, that they're probably worse, actually.
Well, they've improved because I've come in here.
While there's a moment of quiet, I want to show you Jay's lovely wife, Amber, one of her little creation that I purchased. This beautiful
Oh, that's cool.
butterfly.
It's gorgeous.
Hang on, that way. Not used to doing the reverse. Yep. So it's
It's hard to get your head around sometimes, moving your hand the right way.
I know. So it sits proudly in my bedroom on the wall next to my bedhead. So I can have sweet fluttering dreams. She did an amazing job on that.
Cool.
Hey, up.
I put the picture of my Christmas tree up on my page, Robbo, and I've sold 2.
Very good.
Haven't even got them to the store yet.
Dr. Bob's Dr. Duck now.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, we're taking in turns to share the duck.
Ah, right, I see. Depends who's in favour at the time. Don't upset Jay or you get to wear the duck.
You haven't had a parcel from the UK yet, then?
No,
Maybe.
not yet. Not yet.
Be
Although
this week, I reckon.
I will check the post box tomorrow. We only went on Thursday, so I'll have to go again.
You can only get one parcel at a time, though, Amber, Amy.
Yes.
You can't get 2 in one hit.
No.
I actually feel sorry for our post office. They've had to actually put a container out the back to handle all the parcels and everything. They're getting so many of them now.
Yep.
And there used to be just virtually one person working in there. There's now 4.
Wow.
Still only the same amount of work. It's just 4 of them, one at a time, and the other 3 having a rest.
Yeah.
No. I bet they wish that was the case, I tell you.
Yeah.
Lewis has said something. Did I miss something? Should we bring up the fact that Dr. Bob was asleep when he stopped in last night?
Oh, Bob had a lovely little nana nap. But I will give you one thing, Bob. You either muted your microphone or you don't snore, one or the other.
Well, I'm going to pass a comment here. This is obviously a safe space where someone's comfortable having a snooze.
That's right.
Yeah. Jay's drop-in centre.
Well, I had been up 19 hours.
Yeah, that's right. But the worst part was that we couldn't put a cheesel or something in his mouth, you know.
Bob, that's nothing, mate. I've been asleep in 4 days.
Mark.
You're looking
Don't you
remarkably
start.
well, Mark.
It's okay, I haven't started having psychotic episodes yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is all a figment of your imagination, Mark.
Yeah.
This is not actually happening. You're not here.
No, this is not actually happening.
It's all a dream, Mark. It's all
I
a
avoid
sorry,
sleep to
gang,
keep
I-
away from the nightmares.
The only thing I can think of is that the wood turning hypnotizes you. You stare at it too much.
Yes, my nose is itchy, Mark.
Okay.
It's all the subliminal messages, Mark. That's the problem.
No.
What you eating, Robbo?
Madeira cake.
Oh, yum.
Well, he doesn't share.
Well, I tried it and it got crumbs in the microphone and blocked it up.
Well, fair enough. I'll let you off then.
This is
No,
what I like.
one of my
Trail mix.
Trail mix. Oh yeah, slightly addicted to trail mix.
I've got an anonymous friend that
Aw.
sends me one a month.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's great.
Oh, there's Amy. Look, Amy and Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Effie. Effie Smith is in.
good day, Effie.
Scratches on the head for Amy.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Welcome to Sunday afternoon
Come on.
insanity.
There we go.
Oh, now she's offended. She's off.
Aww.
Well, I didn't move my arm to the right place so she could snuggle in. I picked her up.
Ah, yeah. How dare you?
She normally comes in over the top here and then comes down here. And if I haven't got my arm in the right spot, she starts just bunting her head there until I move my arm.
Dad, move.
Yeah. Hello, Olivia.
Hi.
Say
How are
hi.
you?
Hi, Olivia.
Thank you for my present.
Thank you for my present.
You're very welcome. Somebody told me you'd been good and you needed to get a present, so
You're going to continue to be good. Hang on. Ready? Here. One at a time. Say hi, Robbo.
Hi, Baba.
Hello.
Hi, Ma.
Hi, Dr.
Hi.
Bob.
Hi, Dr. Bob.
Hi, Jay.
Bye. Hi there.
Amber, if she's there, say hi, Amber.
Hi, Amber.
There you go.
woohoo!
And say hi, everyone in the chat.
I thought you'd be outside, Olivia, chasing the cow around.
You going to go back outside? You going to go back outside?
Where's my skate?
No, not with your skates on. Go put your gummies on. Yes.
That's right. You live over at Pakenham, don't you?
Yes.
You need gummies over there.
Nearly
Yes.
neighbours, Robbo.
Sorry.
You're nearly neighbours.
Oh yeah. It's only about 30 kilometres between us.
Could I get that in English, please? What are gummies?
Well,
Gumboots.
Wellingtons.
Wellies, gumboots.
Wellies. Okay.
yeah, wellies, gumboots. Wellies.
Hi, everybody. Butchers our language.
Well, you just said the worst of you lot over here, so I'm returning inevitable.
What did you expect? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah, we fought for the right to butcher it. With the Aussies, you put them there because you didn't like the way they spoke anyway.
And so calm as a bitch.
What do you expect from ex-prisoners?
But we were a select lot. Our ancestors were a select lot.
Chosen.
I did hear a rumour that it was possible the US was going to try and rejoin the Commonwealth if the election went the wrong way.
That has
G'day,
been
Billy.
a standard running joke. Either that or here in Michigan, we said, well, we'll just join Canada.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Billy Burt.
Hi,
Hey,
Billy.
Billy, John,
Hello, Billy.
Lewis.
Hey, go Billy, Effie.
Jay, did you get rid of that scarred bit out of there or not?
A little bit there, but I got rid of most of it. But there's just some persisting, and it's slightly annoying.
Yeah, it could be. It could be a little bit of rot, actually.
I've just been out just before I come in here eyeing off my cypress out in the front. I need some more branches to make more Christmas trees. There's a couple of nice ones there, so chainsaw might be coming out later.
Ah, it's what we call a still wind around here. STIHL.
I don't need a still wind because my still wind has a 30-inch bar on it. 36-inch
right.
bar on it. I don't need one quite that big.
Is that similar to a Husqvarna wind?
Yes.
Very, very
Yes.
similar.
Yes, a husky wind. That's it.
Husky wind.
Yes, I'll be using. I will be. There will be a husky wind.
All right, just hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Now, Klondike, this is to you, Dr. Bob. Lewis says hard no about joining Canada. Billy Burt says, nah, Texas will just become another republic again.
What was it you said the other day, Lewis? He called you lot the snow Mexicans, wasn't it?
South of the border. Yep.
No Mexican.
Like when Trump got in, one of the funniest things I heard anywhere, and I can't remember where it was now, but it was America deserves Donald Trump as president. It's just the rest of the world doesn't.
Yeah, well, that's right.
That was based on the fact they voted him in.
Yeah.
But it wasn't by popular vote.
That's
popular
part of
vote
the
didn't vote
system
for it.
there, isn't it? It's an interesting system you've got over there, Dr. Bob.
Oh God, isn't it
Yes.
just?
Been a lot of times it's been talked about eradicating it. Let the popular
Awesome.
vote be separate from the electoral college. But the electoral college was actually patterned after Great Britain. Because the
Yeah,
idea being is that the commoner didn't know enough about politics and how to manage other than their small businesses and how to communicate with other countries. And they weren't stuffed shirts. They were just common people. So it was determined they weren't educated because 90% at the time couldn't read. Actually, about 94% of Americans couldn't read more than a second or third
Actually
grade
changed very
education.
much.
Yeah, it's getting that way. But
Oh,
that's why they formed it. The people who you picked people in your area that were really smart and knew how to
Mark's
read
got his
and
hand up.
write, and they voted
You know-
for you.
you know I can hear you, right?
We've got a preferential system out there, and it sucks, I reckon. So I'm going to make a cup of tea.
dictatorships. Bring back dictatorships. They work.
Yeah. Yeah, bloody oath. I'm going to put the kettle on, Jay.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Too
Give
late
the
and
Queen-
taking headphones off.
Give the Queen ultimate power. She's the only one I trust. She'd sort it out.
We are not amused.
It's Amy.
You say this, Amy?
Oh.
Say, John's asking where you're from.
Upside down fluff.
John, I'm halfway between Jay and Robbo, so I'm in the southeast of South Australia. And now Amy's happy, you see. I've got my arm in the right spot.
The right spot. That's it.
No, I'm in the right spot.
The
You
adoring look when she leans back, that's when I've got it in the right spot. And she comes in and she leans back like that, looks up at me, says, yeah, right, and then she settles down and is asleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, my pet's like 51 pounds. Riley's a hefty dog. And it's getting too smart.
I don't know
even
what
though
to
it's
get.
8 years
Effie's
old.
Effie's just saying that she's in northwest Mississippi.
That's Bob. He's not impressed at the moment.
Hey.
Oh, hi, Bob.
I got a double whammy this morning.
Yes.
No, I got 2 brown snakes.
Uh-oh.
Can they kill you?
Well, no.
Does someone need purses?
They were intimately entwined, so I got 2 for the price of 1
Wow.
2 purses.
in my backyard.
Yeah.
It's unusual for me actually, because normally the snakes I get here are tiger snakes.
Ooh, ew.
Can they kill you?
Yes.
So can brown snakes.
Yes.
I'd have a tiger snake any day of the week, because a tiger snake will normally run away from you.
Yeah. Whereas
A brown
browns will come
snake,
and attack
a
you.
brown snake, you got a 50-50 chance they're going to come at you.
See,
You can have them.
everything in Australia wants to kill you or eat you.
Oh, the
Listen
worst,
here.
the worst of the lot is the drop bears.
The drop bears. No, I think the magpies are probably worse.
There's a picture that was circulating for a while on well, I was sort of on Instagram. I think I've seen it on Facebook as well, and it's got a dingo fighting a snake in the foreground, and in the background it's got a crocodile eating a shark on the beach.
Oh, jeepers.
It says Australia captured in one picture.
John N's asking, he watches another Australian fella called Steve Hay. Has anybody heard of him?
No, but I'm going to go and search now.
Yeah, same.
Righto, the race is on.
Can't, I'm on my phone.
I can't use my phone, the battery's dead.
Sid,
Hey, what?
you can put the link in the chat if you want.
Steve Hay Racing.
What?
John N, what's his channel name?
There's lots of Steve Hayes.
Did you go
Woodworking
up-
masterclass.
Stupid line thing. And choose channels.
I mean, just saying, seeing as I'm a professional earworm, if I had a spanner, I could do links really quickly. Because,
Is that him?
I do it all the time. Just saying, just saying.
I won't take that as a hint.
Hint. You collect spanners, don't you, Mark?
Take that as a hint, okay?
You don't have to,
Well,
but honestly.
Mark, you ought to set yourself up with a fast enough internet where you can be the host for everybody. And that way you can control them when they come on, when they go off. And everybody will, the internet's transparent. It doesn't matter where you are.
I don't want that responsibility.
You better type into the chat because whatever you
I
said,
just have.
you did.
Not yet.
Have I got a spanner? I don't know. Have you? Here's a look. No, don't.
Not at the moment.
Want RedTube for that, not YouTube.
Oh, you did the wrong one, Jay.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know. What are you seeing, Mark? Let's see again.
Yay! I have an international spanner.
What are you? An international spanner.
You don't want to say that too loud, Mark, because spanner over here is a derogatory term. So if we say Mark's a spanner,
Yeah, well, we have the
it's not a compliment.
we have the same term over here.
There you go,
Look,
Linky.
love to come to Canada.
I have power.
I'm gonna go to Canada so bad.
It's not on
So
there.
see, once you've got a spanner, I can't suspend you. I can only block you.
Right.
What was that, Amy?
I'd love to go to Canada so bad.
I went to Canada once. Got thrown out. And do you know what's funny? I'm not even exaggerating. Literally got exported.
What did you do?
Yeah,
They're
that's
illegally.
kind of rare.
You
Oh.
goose.
You
When-
snuck in.
Yeah. Well, okay, well, I'll give you the full story. When my mum and dad emigrated to America when I was 3, they went over on a visitor's visa and stayed. And 7 years after we'd moved there, we went to Canada, and as we crossed over the border, the Canadian immigration looked at mum and dad's visas and went, you're not supposed to be in America, and you're definitely not supposed to be here. So it's not exported. What's the word?
Deported.
Deported. So they deported us back to America, and the Americans then deported us back to England.
Wow.
So in 24 hours, a 10-year-old, me, was deported from 2 countries in 24 hours.
You've got a checkered past, Mark.
But within 48 hours, we were back in America because we fought a good case. Well, Mum and Dad fought a good case. They let us back in as long as we took dual citizenship. So I've actually got a dual citizenship. I've got an American passport.
Did you vote?
No, because I won't even
Why
vote in
not?
this country. I won't even vote in this country, so I won't.
Yeah, you could have
vote.
made a big difference over there. Your one vote, if you'd registered, I mean, that could have been.
Yeah, I could have made a
We
big
could have
difference.
blamed you for everything.
Yeah, good night, Billy.
See you,
See you,
Billy.
Billy.
See you later, Billy. Thanks for coming in.
But unfortunately, once you get deported from Canada, they won't ever have you back. I can't go back to Canada.
Yeah, I've got dual citizenship, U.S. and Canada, because my father was born and raised in Canada.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So you get it
We had a-
automatically.
Right,
We had a
going
vote here.
to interrupt here for a minute.
Okay.
Now, Jay, when you fit this into the chuck, make sure that clear spot where it's got no tenon on it lines up with a split in the jaws. All right,
Yeah.
and put the speed down 1 as well.
And stand to the side.
Yeah. So yeah, Dad got sent out of England by the police
Ooh.
in 1952.
Is that sorry, Sid? Is that centered right down? Is it bedded right into the face of the board or not? Or is that little titty bit hanging it out?
No, it's fine.
Okay, all right. Just make sure it's tight, Jay.
Making sure it's centre first.
Yeah, no, so Dad was a 10-pound pom,
There you go.
and his old man was a police sergeant in Eastbourne, and his old man paid his fee, so he always said the cops sent him out here.
Wow.
That sounds like my great-great-grandfather who was thrown out of Belfast, not Belfast, Glasgow. The family paid for him to go to New Zealand, but I don't mention that.
I'm Zud.
Wow.
Do you know? Have you ever really studied the Kiwi accent? And I can tell you why they talk the way they do. If you get a Kiwi to sound their vowels, they go oh.
Yeah,
They
You guys
sound
really don't like
the
the
E
Kiwis,
like
do
an
you?
I, and their I like an E, and their U like a
yeah. Well, New Zealand was mainly settled by Scotsmen, and that's the reason that it's a bastardised Scots language to a large extent.
Yeah. Bailey Woodworks is in.
Hi, Bailey.
Hi.
How you going, Bailey?
G'day, Bailey.
Now, there's another name there somewhere, and I can't think what it is because I'm pretty sure Bailey's the surname. Help me out.
No idea. I've always called him Bailey.
Is it Tim or something?
No, that's TF Turney.
Oh, I had a guess.
Well, you got to have a guess. We call him anything we like till he tells us something different.
Yeah, that's right.
The only Bailey I know is cream to go in coffee.
I'm gonna upset Jay here in a minute. Why are you drilling it out?
Oh, you're supposed to read between the lines again.
Yeah. Read between the lines. That one.
Pick a finger, any finger. No, not the two on the outside.
Yep. That's what it was when we were in the military. Our salute was a three-fingered salute.
Ours
The
was a
only
long
time
way
I
up,
ever
short way
saluted
down.
was I used to salute like that.
When you wanted to piss off the sergeant or the colonel.
Oh, that's got a good crack down it by the look of it.
Oh.
That's just dangerous.
No, it
Living
doesn't
on the
look
edge.
doesn't look too bad.
I'm a coward. I wouldn't touch it.
I'll have a go at a lot of things, but I just make sure I give it a clear line of fire. Here she comes again.
Just watch out you don't drill too deep, Jay.
Hi, Amy. Aw. Yes, you. Hello,
That's
Amy.
the process. This is the process. Now she's right. Now she arms in the right spot. We're good now.
Nice work, Lewis. They look
Huh.
awesome.
You did all those today? You lunatic.
Wow.
Whereabouts is that? Sorry.
In Messenger. 11 rolling pins.
They are awesome.
I'm going to have to love you guys and leave you. I've got to head off for a while, go for a little drive to Meningie.
Drive safe, Sid.
Yeah,
No,
see you
no.
later, Sid.
Take care.
See you later.
See ya.
Take care, Sid. You doing a live later, Robbo?
Yes, 8 o'clock tonight.
What are
Same
you doing?
time, same channel, I'm doing a table lamp.
And how many hours is that from now?
Well, it's nearly 3 o'clock, so another 5 hours.
Be 3 o'clock in the morning.
Night, Steve.
Cheers, Steve. Thanks for popping in.
See you later, Steve going, yeah, no, I think he's saying, oh no, yeah, all right, see you later, Steve. Sorry,
See ya, Steve.
I'm responding to about 5 questions on Messenger at the moment. I know, I'm helping a friend out in Queensland who's doing a job that he's not used to.
Now, can I just dive into this, or do I got to come from the inside out?
No, this is a bowl orientation, so you start from the outside and work in.
Just making sure, because normally I do it one way and you tell me to do it the other way.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Right, I know I'm new, but I was told if you're doing a live edge bowl like this, you want to take your parting tool and establish your edge first so that you don't lose your corners on your high spots on either end.
All right, good idea.
Good idea.
Hi, Yappy.
Oh, Yappy?
Good day, Yappy.
How you going, Yappy?
Nearly 3 o'clock in the afternoon for Robbo and me, and Jay's half an hour behind.
Plus another 10 years. And Queensland's 20 years behind.
They are.
That's a bit like Wales here then.
Yeah, every country has it, that's right. Yeah, I'm sure America, the further south you go, the further the calendar goes back.
Yep.
What do they say? A Welshman's like an Englishman with his head kicked in.
Yeah, you could say that.
And the Scottish say that about the English, and then, vice
Yeah.
versa.
Yeah, it's the same as Australia and New Zealand, you know, like we've got to have a crack at one another.
That's right. It's done with love.
Well, you can't help bad luck, Hodge, I tell you. I must admit, my wife has spent many enjoyable hours in Houston. She used to fly over there every now and again to be at the company headquarters when she's starting to get a bit toey now. She's only got 5 days worth of work left. Then she retired. Then she retires.
Amazing.
So, in Australia, when people retire, what is their dream place to go?
Well, it depends on what you want. A lot of people move to Tasmania because they want the colder weather. A lot of people move up to Queensland, but what Queensland's always boasted that they have the biggest part of Australian immigration going, that all the southern states always move up there when they retire. What they don't tell you is that 90% of them move back again to where they were because it's they don't like the climate up there. It's too hot. So another friend of mine, or a friend of my dad's actually, was in the Meteorological Bureau, and for 20 years before he retired, he plotted a place that only had a minimum amount of rain. The temperature never exceeded about 25 degrees, and he actually found it. It's about 40 miles in from the coast on the Queensland New South Wales border, and he loves it there. So they've lived there for the last 30 odd years. So he'll die there. Me, I'm happy where I am down here. So I've got no real desire to move anywhere.
I've always
Yeah,
said
so many
since
people
I've been
here,
there.
they talk about they want to retire to Florida. That seems to be the place on beaches. But then when you bring up the fact of all the severe storms and flooding, and you can't have a convenience of a basement because they flood, and
Yeah,
your buildings have to be hurricane proof because we're getting more of them. That kind of changed things. And now Hawaii, but it's just way too expensive. The cost of living is twice what it is anywhere else. Here in Michigan, it's a little cabin out somewhere in the woods on a lake where you can fish and hunt. And if you want to go to vacation for a month or two in Florida or farther south, you can, but you still come back to a home in the woods.
yeah. It's yeah. It all like I've got.
No.
I suppose 90% of my life I've lived within 2 or 3 miles of a beach. Now, as far as I'm concerned, water is just used for making cups of tea and washing yourself with. And I have, but I like green rolling hills, which we've got just down the road from us in South Gippsland. There's only ever been 2 places I've ever wanted to live. South Gippsland, which is where I do live, and the around Alice Springs. So, and
I'm
Alice
happy
Springs is,
here.
sorry?
I'm happy here as well.
Yeah,
There's my backyard.
Beautiful.
yeah, yeah. Well, our place is like that. We've got a front yard like that, and then we've got
No.
another quarter of an acre out the back. So we're on half an acre. I've got my shed on it,
Same
my
here.
my sanity pit, and got no desire to move anywhere else really.
Yep. Well, Olivia would like you all to know that she saved a little skinky lizard from one of the cats outside.
Looks like it's dropped its tail, has it?
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
in my pajamas.
So
Spudge was having it. Our cat.
there you go. All right, everybody. I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you all for having me.
All right. See you later, Amy.
Take
Bye
care.
then, Amy.
Bye.
Bye, Olivia.
Bye.
Bye. Just for you, those of you that don't know, that lizard that Amy held up, they're little skinks. They're about 4 or 5 inches long, or 125 to 150 mil long. When they're attacked, they drop their tail. The tail falls off them, and they actually grow a new tail, so that the whatever grabs the tail instead.
I remember reading that. God, must have been back in primary school. Never seen one other than I'm sure, a cartoon drawing of it in the textbook.
Yeah.
I've always said there's 2 places in the world I'd like to live. One's Alaska, and the other one's South Africa.
Well, you can't get to South Africa to Alaska now. They've banned you for life. You're buggered.
No, Alaska's in America. I can live in Alaska.
Oh yeah, sorry, Canada. I was thinking. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
love Alaska.
that's my temperature as well, Yarpy. 21 degrees. That's ideal. Now, John, that defies the laws of physics. That you live on a 7-acre plot and rent out. Do you rent another 150 acres? I thought you rented out 150 acres.
It's like Jay needs to reset his camera.
it's gone fuzzy. Lucky you're still awake, isn't it?
It's a vicious rumour, Mike. I don't drink a lot of whiskey.
No, when I get to the point where want to go live somewhere, as long as I got a shed for my lathe and a cot, that's all I need.
I can't glue all the frosties together because
Power for my shop.
it's to dry. I mean, I want for them to go out.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Jappy.
Leave him like on there and have like a little tree or something. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
no, things are pretty bad over there at the moment. Jay, make sure that you have bevel contact before you dig the tool in, or you're going to wear it.
Just worried the split might come loose and hit him.
oh, hot tool.
And just glide the bevel. You're pushing too hard onto the bevel. This is for you then, Hodge.
Madeira cake. Oh, the horror. Everybody's got cake.
Yes, I know we shouldn't do that to you, should we, Mark?
I can ban him if you want, Mark. Oh, actually, no, you can do it. You can put him in timeout.
Hodgepodge. Madeira cake is like pound cake in the States.
Yeah, one of my favourite cakes. It's got no icing on it or anything else. It's just a plain cake.
Plain Jane.
Yeah, like me.
Well, Robo, while you're on the road, who's going to take over mentoring?
He's going to be on his own.
Maybe we ought to have Mark mentor him.
Oh God, don't ask me. I'm still a newbie myself.
Should be right, bloke. Still good, mate.
I'll help out where I can, but I wouldn't presume to teach people yet.
Now that's getting better, Jay.
Yeah.
You just lifted it off a fraction, but you can tell by the sound when it's really knocking like you're hammering it, means you're pushing the bevel too hard.
Yep.
Robo, it's something that really bothered me, and I tried but haven't had much luck, is that we had a couple years ago blind vets. One had like 10% vision and had to hold up a monocular to see.
Wait on, Bob. I can't hear you properly with the sound of the chisel.
Oh, well, excuse me.
Yeah, mute yourself, you mongrel.
But we had a couple of blind turners. They were vets.
Yep.
And the one thing that I found amazing is that they knew what they were cutting and how they were cutting by hearing.
Yep.
More than us with sight.
Yep. Well, it's a sound it makes. Like I've taught a semi-blind person who had just tunnel vision, and only that was about 6 or 8 inches in front of them. I've never taught a completely blind person, but it's all in the feel at the end of the chisel, and they can feel things that we can't because that's how they operate. So, but I can be in a room full of turners and I can pick immediately who's not turning properly just by the sound the chisel's making. When the chisel's cutting properly, it actually makes a swishing type or a whishing sort of a sound. You know, you can hear it.
It hisses,
Right.
doesn't it?
Yeah, I call it a hiss. Yeah, Hodge, that bowl gouge is getting a bit short. It's funny, I don't know, there's pancakes in this. Oh no, crumpets are totally different. Yarpy crumpets are like a bread roll with holes in it.
Yeah.
Just a slightly different mix. And we call pancakes, but
So do we.
a thin pancake has always been called a crepe, and that comes from France. But what does get me is you call the Americans call something a biscuit, and we call it they're scones, basically.
Yeah, they call what they call a biscuit, we call a scone.
Yeah.
God, biscuits and gravy.
Yeah. You like the pork gravy or the beef?
Don't
He
care.
doesn't care. I was going to say that.
Well, Robo, you ought to know it if you ever hit a military, U.S. military, and SOS.
Yeah, I do know. I've forgotten.
You forget what it stands for?
Yeah.
Fecal on a toast.
Huh?
Fecal.
Now, Jay, that kickback there.
The technical term of the product of diarrhea.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a fecal product after the bacteria.
That that kickback there was caused because you had no bevel control. You didn't have the handle around far enough towards the outside of the bowl. Yeah, you got to get it round to there. Oh yeah. Strawberry jam and Devonshire teas, nothing better.
See, here in the UK, there is a massive debate on the
I
right
knew
way.
that was coming up.
Now, I'm a good Devon boy, born and raised in Devon, and the only way to have a cream tea is cream first, jam on the top. Any other way is wrong.
No, you've got to have
You do not put jam on first and then cream on the bloody top. It's wrong.
You put jam on first to stop the creams from soaking into the bread.
The cream is the butter. When you make a ham sandwich, you don't put the ham on the bread and then put the butter on the ham, do you?
Your moderation rights aren't going to last very long, Mark.
You're wrong.
That's not bad either, Yarpy. Warm scone with grated cheese. No, it's not jam. Not jam in a tea. Hodge. There's scones, which you call biscuits, and there's a thing called Devonshire teas, which you have jam and cream on a scone with a cup of tea. Although they substitute coffee these days, it never used to be. It always used to be tea. But and there's an argument about whether the jam goes on first or the cream goes on first. In Australia, the jam goes on first, and then the cream gets whacked on top. Mainly because you can really heat the cream up that way.
The problem I have is I live in Cornwall, and Cornwall is the other way round. They have jam first and then the cream. And boy, did I take some stick for that.
Okay, for a Yank, cream is a thick milk. You
Yeah,
put
that's
it in
right.
coffee. So you pour a liquid.
No, this is clotted
jelly?
cream. This is clotted cream, so it's the consistency of butter.
Yeah, it's whipped.
Oh,
whipped
okay.
in
It's
Australia,
whipped cream.
whipped
It's basically
cream.
whipped cream so whipped that it almost goes to the butter kind of state.
Yeah.
Okay,
Clotted
never
cream.
seen it.
I miss stuff like that. Bastard.
Gee, I'm surprised. I'm surprised about that, Mike. Actually, that you're prepared to taste test cons made both ways in an attempt to settle the argument.
Well, the argument's centuries old.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, my grandparents used to argue that between my grandmother and grandfather. One was from Ireland and the other was from Scotland.
No, well, cream generally it's fairly sweet by itself anyway. But yes, you can sweeten it a little bit if you like by putting sugar in it when you whip it.
Yappies asked me when I was in South Africa, did I have pancakes with cinnamon sugar? I didn't when I was in South Africa, but I have had pancakes with cinnamon sugar.
Yeah, that's a Dutch way of having them actually, with cinnamon sugar.
One of the things I did have in South Africa was mealie pop.
Never heard of it.
I'll let Yappy describe it. Because I don't know that I could say anything nice about it.
You Johannesburg?
I flew into Johannesburg, but I was at a place called Loskop Dam, which is about 3 hours northeast of Joburg. Up near Kruger National Park.
Oh. Yeah, I've wanted to go and I've had several offers, but unfortunately, I was stupid and took a job that paid better money each time.
I was saying in the chat earlier to Yappy, I fell in love with the place. I was even offered a job there. Wish I'd taken it. Um, it, I don't know. Africa gets under your skin, and if you let it, it can really affect you in a good way. And it did me. I must admit, it's for the lifestyle that I wanted. It's a
Was
bribe.
that pre or part or post apartheid?
Post-apartheid, 2005.
Ah,
Jay, be careful doing that. You're going past centre and it'll flip the tool over if you're not careful. Take that little bit out with a negative rake scraper.
Yeah, it's a bribe.
I reckon Wally looks pretty good on his bloody t-shirt there.
Does. I've got a T-shirt that says something like that, Yappy. It says, "I'm grumpy, I drink coffee, and I know things."
My wife bought me a t-shirt that says, "Don't ask him, he knows everything."
I've been very fortunate, I must admit. Up until my illness, I'd had an immensely full life. I tried to seize every opportunity. I travelled. I did things that ordinary people would never attempt or do or try. And I tried to fit as much into my life as I possibly could. Because I knew, even before I was ill, life is short. And it's only what you make of it.
You're dead right there, Mark. I've done the same.
And I've got to say I'm glad I did, because with everything that's happened to me now, I wouldn't be able to do half the things that I did then. So I'm glad I've got the memories.
Well, if it hadn't been for your illness, what stops you too is age.
you're as
Well,
old as you feel and as young as you act.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think I agree with Bob. Age doesn't have to be a barrier.
It is to certain things. Like, I would know, I've been on top of Ayers Rock 13 times, right? And climbed up there 13 times.
Is that
The last,
Uluru?
yeah, that's Uluru. I still call it Ayers Rock.
So do I.
I couldn't do it now because I'm just too old and my knees are buggered. So it does preclude you from doing certain things.
Yeah.
But that's a function of the feeling young because at times some things just don't want to work or you don't want to get up in the morning. That's just the way it is, but you can still act young and think
Oh,
young.
I'm not saying you can't act and think young, but the body pulls you up occasionally to let you know that you're not as young as what you used to be.
Yeah, but then again,
Sorry to hear that, John.
there are younger people that have that problem too, and it's
Oh,
not
that's true.
laziness.
Jeez, John, I'm sorry to hear that.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah. Accident or a storm or something, was it? I'm not trying to pry. If you don't want to say anything, just tell me to nick off.
That's my problem with my illness. I'm 52. I act like a 17-year-old, but I've got the body of an 80-year-old now.
Yeah, well, my brain tells me that I'm about 18, but geez, I tell you what, it doesn't take long for the body to remind it that it's 70 years old.
So I'm the old fart here. That's
Yeah,
been-
you're the oldest one, I think.
What bothers me at being old is like I went out to the shop today and the Brendan, a 13-year-old, come wandering out and he says, I'm getting my bedroom ready because now at 13 he can design and paint and whatever he wants in his room, but he's got to do it himself. And I said I would help him because his father doesn't. He knows which way a paint roller rolls, and that's about it. But
Yeah,
I told him I'd help him because now he can design his own room with lights and what paints and everything else. So comes out and he wants a paint scraper to take off some of the stickers that have been stuck on the walls when he was a little kid.
yeah. Sorry, Bob. I could think of, well, having been in situations similar to that, John. I could think of nothing worse. I really feel for you, I tell you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd agree. It probably was a very rough couple of months after that. In fact, I know that time heals all wounds, but the memories don't go away. Yeah, sorry, Bob, about Brendan painting his bedroom.
Yep, it's like I'd be glad to help him and do it. And he was getting the tools out to do it, get it ready. I don't know why kids want to have black bedrooms. He'd be the fourth foster kid that I've raised that wanted a black bedroom.
You'll learn.
Good night, Lewis.
Night, Lewis.
I've raised 5 foster kids in my life. I'm glad that 4 of them I've been able to get through college.
Oh, that's great.
The other one died in a drive-by shooting on spring break in Florida, standing in front of a McDonald's. He was just a bystander.
Jeez,
Tell you, life sometimes is a pile of shit, isn't it?
oh, it is.
Yeah, shit happens.
No,
Can't
no,
stop it.
no. Shit's stuff happens. Shit's caused by arseholes.
He just got a scholarship to college, University of Michigan, in microcomputer design. Went down with a group of friends to celebrate it. And him and 2 other friends happened to be standing together and they caught the person and he's in prison for life, 3 life sentences. And it was a mistaken identity.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yep.
It was rough because his mother, I knew his mother and him through church, and his mother worked with a doctor who did open heart surgery back when it was just one above experimental and would go around the world doing and teaching it. So it was like I had like custody and guardianship while they were busy teaching, husband and wife crew, and he couldn't
Uh,
go.
that was actually invented in Australia.
Yeah.
Yep, Dr. Chan. Now there you are, Dr. Chang or Chan. He was a Chinese doctor at one of the Melbourne hospitals, and he did the first open heart surgery, first heart lung transplant in the world, and he was shot in the car park of the hospital and killed, and nobody can understand why.
Night, Mike.
There are some odd religious
Yeah.
groups that
Good
feel
night.
that
Good
they're
night.
pampered.
Good night, Mike. Good night, Mike. You're the only bloke I know, Mike, that has an alarm to go to bed.
Oh, I got one on my Fitbit, but I just ignore it.
My wife's got one on her computer that tells her when she's got to have a rest break, because she spends all her life on a computer. And it's rather funny. It goes ding, ding. And one of her girlfriends has actually got one on hers in the office where she works that actually shuts the computer down for 15 minutes to force them to have a break.
Yeah, some people need it. Their productivity goes down if you don't.
Oh, yeah. Well, it doesn't come across like that, Mike.
Yeah, interesting. It cracked.
Yeah, I don't know. That crack is actually opening up, Jay. Yeah, I know. It's getting bigger and bigger.
Well, you got a cracker bowl when.
That's all right. I was pointing out that it was getting wider, and then you
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, look, Jay, it's getting wider." It's like, yeah, I know.
Well, you got the point across.
Yeah.
Subliminal communication. It does work.
Would it be,
No,
would it
with
be
with
a good
Jay,
idea to put some super glue in the bottom of that crack? Stop it going any further.
with Jay, I've learned to read sign language because he gives it all the time.
Yeah. See if I can unstick the glue tube from my board. No, that's not coming off. The old heat, the heat in here makes the glue dry a lot faster, obviously, but it dries so fast. It dries so fast that it sticks to my monitor stand, and I can't get it off.
No. Can't believe that, Jay.
Robbo, can you do me a favour, please?
What? Ferme le bush?
Jawohl. Jawohl, Kommandant.
Sorry, I must have missed something there in the chat.
Robbo missed something. Uh-oh.
No, Hodge. Otherwise, he would be on YouTube watching wood turning all day.
Oh, it means he's actually got work to do.
Oh, possibly, yeah. I actually need two disjointed eyes. One eye to keep on the chat and one eye to keep an eye on what Jay's doing.
You have to set me free eventually, Robbo.
I know. God, I'm not looking forward to that day, I tell you.
Well, you and the rest of the world, you mean?
So when are you leaving?
No, actually, Jay, a lot of the time I see you go to start something and I must be in the back of your head and you say, no, that's wrong. Robbo says, yeah, come across there.
Yeah. It's their inkling, unfortunately.
It
Well,
may not
next
stop
Sunday is
it,
our club
John,
meeting.
but it reduces the chances.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mark, would you like an invitation sent to you for our Detroit area woodturners online?
That would be lovely. Yes, thank you.
Now, John, to answer your question there, well, sometimes, yes, it does. But a lot of time the wood will still split anyway, no matter how much glue you put in it. It's just the forces of nature.
Here comes the fun part.
What?
I'm not looking forward to sanding the inside.
Do it by hand. See if you can get see if you can get a really good finish off the tool, and then just do it by hand. Up and down the grain. No, not that way. Up and down
yeah,
the log.
I'm ripping the paper.
Okay.
Mark, you're on Facebook?
Yes. Mark Beckett, B-E-C-K-E-T-T. It's the same picture as my YouTube picture.
Do you use the Facebook chat?
Yeah.
Do you want me to send you the link, Dr. Bob?
Well, I thought if he's on chat, he could find me, and because I'm kind of unique. Robert Elliott, that's 2 L's, 2 T's, number 2. And since then, there's like 30 of us or 50 of us, but I want to be able to get it so I can send you the information for that. And if you want to, well, it'd be interesting to get you into DAWG, but you already know about that. I got Robo an honorary membership into it, so he can, if he's awake, join in.
Right. What name do I look for?
Robert Elliott, Elliott.
I sent you a message, Mark, how his name's pronounced.
Okay.
Because I use Messenger all the time. As Robo can tell you, I call him on it. Are you going to be free Monday morning, Robo? About what time? Because the guy that sells that magic stick, he's in Colorado, and he wanted a week free because he's visiting his kids.
Oh,
a new baby.
Yeah.
But the second week he's going to be there, and he will want to spend some time talking to you and send you out a bunch of samples.
No worries. Yeah,
Samples? Oh, I'll be in that now.
yeah. Monday morning should be all right.
Just sent you a message, Bob.
Yeah, because the easiest way is to do it online through Facebook because no one can afford the phone call.
Yeah, we're talking about you, Joe, behind your back.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me, to be honest. I'd rather hear it from the goose and not the gander.
That's one thing you'll always get from me, Joe, is up front. Then I'll talk about you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Gossip
I
queen,
love
aren't
the
you?
bowler, Mark.
Thank you.
A real gentleman's hat.
Yeah. I was the only bus driver in Bristol who used to wear a bowler hat.
Yeah, good night, John. Thank you for coming in.
See you,
Sleep
John.
well.
Take care, buddy.
See you later, John. Thank you.
Well, I used to dabble in magic, and the bowler hat was part of my regalia. And actually a couple of tricks with it too. But I really enjoyed that when I was younger.
My father, when he was a young man, he worked in the City of London for Lloyd's of London. And he went to work every day wearing a bowler hat. And when he passed away, I decided that I would reinstate the tradition.
Good one. I still like to tie my own bow ties, and like a full foreign hand tie.
Yep.
And I've taught all the foster kids that I've raised how to do it.
Couldn't be bothered sanding anymore. It's too bloody hot to sand, too.
Yeah, it's getting a bit warm.
In my shed, it is 34.
Yep.
So outside my shed, it's most probably about 38, at least.
Well,
34, that's quite
if you
chilly.
paid for a sauna, it would cost you money, and you got one right there.
That's 34 Fahrenheit, is it?
No.
I know.
No, we live in the right part of the world.
Centigrade or Celsius?
Doesn't matter.
Both the same things, Bob.
We had a discussion the other night, and centigrade and Celsius are the same. I always thought they were different, so I went and looked it up, and they were right.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Though I got a smart aleck here with Brendan. Ask what temperature it is, and he'll come up with, oh, Fahrenheit, but on his phone, he's so used to being able to get anything he wants. He'll give it in Kelvin. Not many people use Kelvin. There's too many zeros.
Yeah, you were saying, Mark, that your father used to work for Lloyd's of London.
Yep.
The bloke next door to us, as I told you the other night, used to build ocean racing yachts, and I fitted out one there once, a 32-footer. Jay, can you just mute, please? Sorry.
Oh, go get your own room.
And it got lost at sea, and Lloyd's of London were the insurers of it, and they had an inquiry into it. Disappeared between New Zealand and Sydney, and heading up for the Sydney to Hobart yacht race. And the assessor flew out from London. I don't think you get used to our Australian ways. Like we turned up in shorts and thongs to the inquiry, and he's dressed in a suit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, he was a proper city gent.
oh yes, but he was a nice bloke. Yeah, we don't know what happened to it. It just disappeared without a trace.
Ah, the ocean's an unforgiving place.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I must admit, for quite a while afterwards, I used to think to myself, Jesus, I hope I didn't do anything to cause it. And poor old Stumpy next door, he was the same, because he built two of them. There was a Charleston and another one, and the Charleston they were both identical yachts, and the Charleston disappeared. The other one's still sailing, funnily enough, but it's a pleasure boat these days.
Yeah.
What class? Racer cruiser?
No, they were ocean racing boats.
Right, but they still a racer cruiser is an ocean racer.
Yeah, these were full races, but easily converted to cruisers afterwards just by adding extra bunks and things into them.
Yep. Yeah, for about 10 years, I was very lucky when Pan American Airlines still functioned to go to Antigua. It used to be a British territory, but they become independent while I was doing my filming stuff on racing. And the boat that I used to get a big kick out of spending a day on, I had a crew of 9 people. A gopher and then 4 pair of camera and first assistants. Was the Kialoa, which was 3 years in a row, came in from Australia for the Antigua turnaround race. Well-known race. Turnaround in the sense that the yachting people, when they look at the equator, by season, where do you have the most tourists? And people can afford it. It's always where summer is. So when season changes, they have this turnaround race because they're changing from always doing trips in the south, and then they can relax in Antigua and get drunk and sail for 2 weeks and sober up and refit what they need. And then they do the northern part of the equator, mostly England, Ireland, and that a whole group of them would sail across. In fact, we had the captain for the Queen of England had a yacht, a racer cruiser, and he was there with his crew, and they were British Navy to uphold the crown in the turnaround races.
Yeah, it's like the cruise lines. They operate down in the south in summertime down there, and they move up to the northern parts when it's their summer. So
I did it just, to me, it was fun. I got paid to do it 3 times, and the rest of the times I just got all expenses and pocket change for myself and a crew. I even went down one time with a crew of 40 people, and we did it in IMAX, the big screen stuff. 70 millimeter film turned sideways. I just shot it, didn't edit any of it. I kept the other times I would do some editing, but I'd pay people to do the editing, and I had sponsors, 2 airlines, some bathing suit companies, but it was fun. And Antigua, is an interesting country. Their main product they had and have is pineapple. And in Barbuda, which is an island just south of them, that's theirs, about a third of the country size of Antigua, the pineapple they grow does not have a fiber core.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only place in the world, and they don't know why. They might now, but and it's considered premier, and it's not sold in cans. It's shipped to be sold in high-end restaurants. But there is no fiber core to it. You can cut it and eat it, and nothing hard in the center. But that's the only place they can grow it. Dole pineapple people, they've been trying to duplicate it and to figure out what is in these rocks. Barbuda is actually a volcano that died thousands of years ago and just stuck up above the water and collected all the sea urchins and dirt and whatever. And you dig down about 6 to 10 foot and you end up with hard volcanic rock.
Yeah, there's a similar place to us, about 40, 50k away from us. The dirt is all red, and it's extinct volcano thing. And geez, the fruit that they grow over there is just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what this pineapple. I mean, it's so sweet, and
yeah, we're too far south. We're too far south to grow pineapples down there.
Yeah, when I went to Alaska, I got the job filming, and I went and made my income doing commercial motion picture work for industry and tourists. They like the tourist part.
Steam trains, Yarpy, were the golden era of train travel. I reckon I love steam trains. I love the sound of them. I love the mechanics of them. They're fantastic.
When I was little, that's what they had in Canada when I would go up to visit my family. My dad's family is all railroad people.
Yeah, we had steam trains until used to be a regular one behind us until I was probably 8 or 9 years old. Then they brought in diesel locos after that.
Cheaper to maintain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, diesel electrics.
They've got no soul.
No.
They're not alive. Steam locomotives, as far as I'm concerned, they've got a soul and they're a living thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like there's a fantastic film clip of the Flying Scotsman under full steam down this huge straight, and it's going like the smoke and the steam from the stack is running right along the roof of the train, you know, and it was going like the clappers. You could see it had 2 flags, one on each side of the front of the train, and they were standing out nearly horizontal, you know. Yeah, very similar to American cars.
Yeah.
Not that they. I must admit the demise of them were about the 60s when that first Chev came out with the bloody aircraft landing deck on the back. I'll never forget when that was released in 1960. But I like the Duesenbergs and the
57 Chevy is my favourite.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my dad, when I was little, had a Packard, because the Packard factory was in Detroit. So was Ford and Chevy and Hudson. The Hudson was a decent car.
Studebakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the police had it.
Studebaker that the neighbor had, the headlights They were the first ones to have covers over the headlights. So when they were off, there was a cover come down, or they
Yeah.
rotated in its place. You'd see it. There's no lights on that car.
Yeah, the police in Australia used to have Studebaker Larks.
I don't know one of the makes, but I know in Australia you're either a Holden, is it a Holden or a Ford?
Oh
Guy?
yeah. You're either Holden or Ford. I'm neither of them, but that's me. But yeah, two very big camps, and of course every year in October they had it used to be the Armstrong 500, but it's Bathurst they call it now.
Yeah.
And always great rivalry between the Holden and the Ford fans.
Huge
In
rivalry,
high
isn't it?
school, I worked for Ford Motor Company in high school. I really enjoyed it. I had a connection inside, like most people in Detroit. They had someone they knew that worked there. But I went to church with one of the design engineers and dated his daughter for about 6 months. And I got dumped because I was from the wrong side of the tracks. I didn't live in Dearborn. I lived in Taylor Township. It was next to Dearborn, but that didn't matter. We went to the same church, and that didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was where you lived.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, here, right, Holden, it's just Holden together, right? And Ford is, excuse the French, Robbo, but it's fucked on race day
yeah,
or found on rubbish dump.
yeah.
We call them fixed or repaired daily.
That's it.
Yeah, well, that one, yeah.
Yeah, and to answer Robert there, geez, an AM radio, whoopee doo. It was about would have been about 1960, I suppose, when the first car came out in Australia, with a Holden that I remember that actually had a radio fitted as standard. They didn't even have, they didn't even have heaters. I remember my first job, I was an apprentice motor mechanic. I started in 1965 as an apprentice, and part of my job was retrofitting heaters into things. And you'd remember this, Mark, the Morris Minor, they had a heater that you could fit into the bottom, and it was a big round thing that looked like a big thermos, you know.
I'm going to say something now. Oh, you mongrel. How bloody old do you think I am? Remembering a Morris. Fucking hell.
My mum had a Morris once, and it was horrible. I hated it. Tiny bloody thing. You couldn't get your shopping in it.
Well, seatbelts didn't come into cars in Australia until 1969. And then it became legislation that they had to be fitted to cars. But we retrofitted a lot of Holdens with Fords and various other things with seatbelts. Used to have to drill.
What year did the FB Holden come out? Because that never had seatbelts in it.
The FB Holden came out in 1961.
There's no seatbelts in that because my mother owned one of those too.
Yeah, no, well, as I said, up until 1969, they weren't a thing. But then they changed the law and they actually made it retrospect, and every car had to be fitted with seatbelts. And
they did terrible colours, Holdens. Ours was hot pink with a blue stripe going down it. Oh my god!
Yeah, well, they were two-tones.
Fashion.
Yeah.
That was fashion at the time.
Yeah.
It was something, all right.
That's why we escaped to Vietnam to get away from it.
A
jackass in a wagon.
A light pink Yarpie.
Nevertheless, it's still a horrible combination.
Oh yeah, they had some but they sold like fury. So anyway,
Yeah.
Well, Robo, you being, quote, in country, if you know what I mean,
yeah.
didn't you ever see the horses pull the cars?
Oh yeah, yep,
Yeah, all the time.
yeah. Couldn't afford
They
petrol.
no money. I mean, they didn't even have an engine. At least the ones that we had during Udorn and Tockley and those areas,
Yeah,
because they could make money selling the big, heavy steel engine. They just hooked a horse up to the car and that they pulled it around as a taxi.
yep. I must admit, I love seeing films of Cuba because they've got a lot of old American cars there, and they can't import. The America won't export to them, and then neither will anybody else. And some of the patch up jobs that you see to keep the
Yeah.
cars on the road, a bit of mechanic's nightmare, I tell you.
Because they don't have a car factory.
No, that's right.
They can bring them in from Europe, but that's it.
Oh, and how do you know that it had a huge back seat, Robert? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
If it's a rockin', don't come a knockin'.
There's a car in the islands, like the Caribbean islands, called a gurgle. And I love every time I went down to film crew, I reserved 5 of them. And they were unique. When you went to a gurgle rental place, you would get the body and the motor and the seats, and then you'd pick the body that would go on it, on top of the frame. So if you wanted a 4-seater, you got a 4-seater. You wanted a pickup, you got a pickup with a deck in the back. If you wanted a tourist bus where you had a bench seat that held three, and a driver, that's the body. They'd simply lower down with a crane and bolt to the engine, to the frame. They were called gurgles.
Multi-purpose vehicles.
Multi-purpose vehicle, perfect for the rental. They had them with a cab where you could sit inside. I always got them with just an umbrella top, a canvas top, and I could take the tops off. But if we got rain or it was too hot in the sun, you'd put it on as a sunshade. Take about 5 minutes.
You got utes in Australia, haven't you?
Yep.
A ute.
Yep.
Ute. Yep. We invented the ute.
Yeah. But you've got some beast bloody General Motors ones, haven't you? 6-liter
ute?
jobbies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can actually buy those here as well.
You poor thing.
Well, you can't get them out here. Well, you can get them out here now, but Ford doesn't exist and neither does Holden.
Holden's shut down. They used to be like 2 or 3 k's up the road from me, and they shut. They closed. Gone. Now it's just a whole heap of empty buildings sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, well, it's the same here. Like, the biggest manufacturing plant was in Dandenong, which was 30 kilometres from our place. And they closed down probably 20 years ago now. But what they've done is turned all that into an industrial area with all the old buildings and everything.
Yeah, that's what they did with the Valiant factory. They closed down here.
I'd be saying the cars that were in fashion where he is were like our Ford Capri, Granada, Ford Cortina, later Toyotas. I had a Capri and I had a Cortina.
Yeah, we had Cortinas and Capris here.
Yep. In fact,
I had a 2-liter Capri and I had a Mark III Cortina.
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't get the Mark III out here. We only had the Mark 1 and 2. But
we had an Escort.
Yeah, we had the Escort. That's what came in after that. But the Cortina was Ford's answer for everybody to be able to afford a car.
Yeah,
that was what the Cortina was bought out for.
A good little fresh box. Yeah.
And the Ford Anglia, the first Ford Anglias, God, they were little shit heaps.
I had a Mark 1 Ford Escort. Brilliant car for drifting.
Oh yeah, yeah. I prepared a couple of Escorts for rallying actually.
They'd be the same
Fantastic
as the
ralliers.
Gemini. Exactly the same as the Gemini, just made by Holdens instead.
Yeah, I was a Ford Bronco when it came out, and then had one, and when I was in the military, and then when I got out of the military, I got a real car. I got a Jeep, and that's what I've had since.
Yeah. Good night, Hodge. Good chatting with you.
See you later, Hodge.
Yeah, Hodge. Mate of mine I went to school with, he had Ford Escort, Mark 1, RS Mexico.
Yeah, with
And
a Cosworth engine in it.
Yeah, and he sold it for pennies. But he later found out, about 5 years ago, his old car sold for about £45,000.
Yep.
He was gutted.
Yeah, well, the cars that my father used to drive, for instance, were old DeLoungers and things like that. If you had them now, God, I learned to drive in a 1938 straight 8 Oldsmobile. And if we had that car now, I think we get about 1.3 million for it.
Yeah.
It's buried in it's in pieces, buried in our yard.
Oh God.
Be well and truly rusted now.
Yeah.
But hindsight's always a good thing.
The fanciest car I ever had, and I had it for 3 summers, was a Bentley. And I was afraid to drive it anywhere. But it did pick up girls.
Oh, I bet. Like I always liked Steed's Mark III Bentley. That was a magnificent car, that thing. Out of the Avengers.
Oh, yeah. Well, a Bentley, the one I had was a demoted Rolls Royce.
Yep.
Because the person had modified it, and when you modify them, you lose its name and its hood ornament.
Best old car I ever had was a 1970s Mark 1 Range Rover, 3-door.
Oh, beautiful car.
3.5 V8. But I used to do off-road racing with my brother.
Would it have a snorkel?
Yes, had a snorkel. But we used to do what they call comp safaris, which is a speed rally.
Yep.
And we had the engine sent off to Rover, and we had it race tuned, polished, ported, and we had 4 sets of twin carbs. So we had 1 carburetor for each piston. And we used to put 355 brake horsepower at the wheels through that thing.
Yeah, I bet the carbies were all Strombergs too.
They were Webers.
Webers, were they? Jeez, that's unusual.
They were Webers, and they were a pain in the ass to tune because they never tuned together.
I used to love tuning them. They talk to me. Webers and Strombergs and SUs.
You used to get these boy racers sit beside you at the traffic lights in their Ford Fiesta XR2s. They had XR2 eyes, and you'd be sitting there, and they'd give their engine a little blip, and I'd give my engine a little blip, and the whole body would rock side to side with the torque. The lights would go, and I'd just peel off 4 wheels spinning and leave them in the dust.
I used to rally a Volkswagen, and that was putting out 240 horsepower at the wheels. And the Ford GTs, which were the fastest road car in the world at that time, we used to, for the first 350 yards, I could leave them for dead. After that, just pure horsepower took over. But
I was all right in a straight line. You throw it into a corner and you kiss your ass goodbye.
oh yeah,
Body roll on it was horrendous.
well, Range Rovers were always renowned for the amount of axle travel they had.
Oh yeah. We've got a
Robbo
picture.
again.
What was
Sorry,
that?
I just asked if Robbo was eating again, and I turned around and I seen it. It's all right. I got my answer.
We've got a
Yeah.
picture of me and my brother at a race, and it's a picture of a marshal stood next to a tree, and the Range Rover that me and my brother were in is in the background, mid-flight, and the center hubs of our wheels are at his head height.
Wow.
Because my brother used to get the red mist, because I used to co-drive for him. He drove, and I was his navigator.
Yep.
And I told him, till I was blue in the face for this jump, back off. And he knew we were trailing, and he just booted it. And we broke 2 half shafts, the rear diff, the front suspension, and blew the battery up on that jump. But it was a pretty good picture.
Good
Well,
memory.
You forced me to do it. Just wait a second.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hey, no one likes a show off. Sorry, Robbo. No, I'm not really, but
No, I have so many memories, but my pictures and a lot of the stuff that I owned was in a fire and lost
go,
most
look,
of my memories.
sorry. I'm being commanded to put it on full screen. Hang on, wait. Ah!
A bug.
Herbie.
Yes.
That's me behind the pillar. That's my
Oh.
brother navigating there.
What's that on the bonnet?
If that
What's that on the bonnet? That's some foliage.
no, that was over a 9-foot jump. If that photo had been about a half a second earlier, you could see right underneath the car, and we hit. You know where you come down a hill and then they have a road around the hill,
Yeah.
and the other road went over the other side. We actually cleared the road that ran around underneath there, and that's where it's coming up as on the rebound. But the photographer apologised profusely. He said, "I tried to get you as you were coming over it," he said, "but I missed it because we were the only ones that hit it flat out, and it was an unmarked intersection on our nav maps." But geez, I thought the car was going to break that day, but it didn't. We ended up winning that event, by the way, but only because of that jump. We saved about 5 minutes on it. But
I seem to remember just turning to my brother and saying to him, "Are you happy now?"
I've got another interesting photo to show you too. Hold on.
No, sorry, I'm taking you off full screen. You've had your time. You've had your 3 seconds of fame.
Yeah, most of the memories that I have that I tucked away like that ended up getting lost in a fire.
Old FJ40 Land Cruiser. I'll just put my headphones back on again.
No, quick, everyone talk now. Go. All right, stop talking
No
about it now.
snorkel.
Yeah.
You
The
weren't roughing it. No snorkel.
No, well, that was one of the first Toyotas to come out here, and I had a little bit to do with the Toyota factory at the time, and the fella sitting in the passenger seat of that is actually a bloke called Brian Hanrahan, who was a motoring writer for the Herald, which was a newspaper out here. And all the sales staff of this place had been just dawdling around with this thing, and he said, oh, they don't handle very well, do they? Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the manager of Toyota turned around to me and he said, you take him for a drive, Robbo. And I said, yeah, all right. So we fanged around this place, and 10 seconds after that photo was taken, you can just see the end of the log in that photo there. The back wheel clipped the end of the log with a full slide coming around that corner there, and rolled 3 times.
Oh, no roll bar.
But it landed on its wheels, and I said, okay, let's continue. And Hanrahan said, no, I don't think so.
But showed the durability.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I had a good time growing up.
When are you going to stop?
Well, that's the point. I must admit, we were out a couple of years ago in the motorhome, and there's this twisting, winding gravel road, and it was fantastic. You'd see for about 5 miles down the road, you know, no cars on it. And suddenly, my motorhome's doing 6-wheel drifts around the corners, and my wife just calmly sitting in the passenger seat said, "We are not in your car now."
Yeah.
So, no, I still enjoy a good fang every now and again, I must admit. But it's getting harder and harder to find places to do it.
Yeah.
You
I
get
was
done
afraid
for
of
the Hoon
speed.
Law now and lose your car, Robbo.
Sorry?
You get done for the Hoon Law now and lose your car.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was afraid of speed because I had a good friend of mine in high school die doing stuff like that. And it was speeding, and he rolled and ended up rolling about 4 times. And they really had to pry the whole truck apart, pickup truck, to get the pieces out.
Yeah,
And
goodbye.
that's all it
See
happened.
you later, Yappy.
See you later, Yappy.
So what I did as a kid is I did rally. I love rally racing, time distance, secret rallies where you go and have a clue. They give you like 6 different reference books, phone books.
We
certain
call them
different
treasure hunts.
Yeah, and I love doing that, trying to figure out, you go for 22 and a half seconds or 22 and a half minutes and turn right at 13 and a half miles an hour. But you got to go faster, so you do your math so you can figure out where it is in order to get there ahead of time. And when you get there, it's all of a sudden there are 3 right turns within 10 yards. Whoops.
Yep.
But it's interesting. Or they give you a nursery rhyme, and you had a map, but everything was on that map, and you had to figure out where the place was that nursery rhyme had to do with it. And I like those type of rallies. They make you think. There's no speed involved to speak of, but it's figuring out where and what clue is next. And each time you get there, they stamp your card to say you made it with a time date stamp.
No, it helped lay out the Alps section, or the section through the Australian Alps in the 1979 London to Sydney Marathon. That was interesting.
I bet.
We laid it out in summer and then had to go back in winter because they were coming through in winter and snow everywhere. So but that was one of the best the best drives ever. Bianchi should have won that in the Citroen, but somebody cleaned him up, and everybody thinks it was actually a paid prank to stop them from winning by BMC, the Austin 18 Cowan, from winning. But Lucy and Bianchi came across an average speed of 99 miles an hour across the Nullarbor Plain. The helicopter couldn't keep up with him.
So your speed is in miles per hour, not kilometers?
No, it's all kilometres an hour now. It's only been kilometres an hour for the last 15 or 20 years. That's when we changed over. Yeah, all you could see from the helicopter shot when they showed it on the newsreels, the dust spread out for about 25 miles behind him because he was going that quick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I bet.
And no wind. And that was on the dirt road before they bitumened it.
Well, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting tired, so I'm going to head off to bed, gang.
All right. Good luck.
Catch you tomorrow.
Night, Bob.
Yep.
Thanks for coming in. See you later.
Yep.
Yeah, watch out you don't concave that too much or it'll fall over. It'll fall over when you try to stand it up. Particularly when it's an interesting subject like steam trains and bloody motor cars and...
You timing it?
No?
I wasn't talking to you. Sorry, Mark. Not
Time for
sorry. Just thought I'd better say it, all right?
You got your hat back on again, Mark. I know you've had it on for a while, but...
Well,
Yeah.
somebody said they couldn't deal with me not having a hat on.
Yeah, well, it's like me, and most people don't see me without a hat either.
I still think this is an imposter. I want the long-haired one back. That's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
No, I feel much more comfortable now. I don't get it caught in the bloody zip. I don't pull my hair out when I'm taking my jumper off.
I'm going to shave mine all off after this. Good old proper shave, shower.
You're not having a shave or a shower until it's over, did you say?
Yeah, I won't take you in with me. I mean, you know, nobody
Shower
wants,
and shave, you know?
nobody wants to see that.
Good thing they don't have smell-o-vision.
It's got a nice shine on it.
Yeah, it's not bad, huh?
Yeah, it's coming up well.
Look, bloody fabulous, isn't it? Isn't it? It's bloody fabulous. That's terrible, isn't it? Is that terrible?
Terrible.
Yeah. Terrible accent. My pobby father would be disgusted in me.
I don't even try to do accents. I'm horrible at them, so...
We got one already and no one seems to understand it.
And tell me, Mark, have Dale and Steve and them fixed up their problems, have they?
Don't know.
Oh, right.
I'm staying out of it.
Yeah, I must admit, I went back and because Wayne's live is on too late for us, I went and had a look later, and the whole thing was blown out of proportion, I reckon. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Politics of earworming.
The only thing I'll say, because we're live, so
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
is
Actually, Jay, there's nobody I don't think in YouTube, is there now?
No, can it?
the only thing I would say is